Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. Season 6, Episode 4. It is called Code Yellow. And what's a yellow item in the world? What possible thing that, everyday item, possibly an item of food, maybe a fruit, could be yellow?
I don't know. Couldn't possibly something with a wonderfully citrus zest.
So full spoilers for the episode, obviously. I'll say that before I make any more jokes. No, Firefly, no, go, go. Oh. I actually sort of blocked the first jump with my hand, and he just sort of forced his way
Went
past
around
it.
you.
Little prick. So Deke's entrance, because we've been saying for 3 episodes, where's Deke? He's a series regular this year. Where is he? But 3 episodes went by, there was no Deke. His entrance in this episode, at the start of this episode, is spectacular. Spectacular.
Do you know what I kind of wish though?
Mm-hmm.
I wish this had been the opening scene of the season. Before you really knew anything that was going on, where anyone was, that would have been a fantastic opening scene.
Sure, but I mean, like, it'd be weird if the first introduction of Evil Coulson was in this scene with him.
Yeah, no, it would. I'm not saying the rest of the episode. I'm just saying that scene.
Okay, no, this is fantastic, and I want points because I was right about how they bring him into it. The bad guys go after him.
I don't remember you saying that, but
I said that last week.
Have a point.
I said that last week.
I'll take your word for it.
Although, interestingly, he's not actually like the other people they're looking for, because we see them hunt down someone else, and they mention that Deke, they don't say him by name, but he's like, the next target, he's not supposed to be here, but he's different from the rest, and he doesn't actually match what they're hunting, but he is different.
Yeah.
So Deke's just almost like unfortunately caught up in this. It doesn't seem like they're actually really hunting people like Deke necessarily. It's just that he kind of fits the bill to a point.
Well, it seems to be they're hunting people who don't belong on that Earth, right? It feels multiversal, right? Who the ones who don't belong on that multiverse. Now, because Deke's from a different reality because of time travel.
You mean on that universe, not that multiverse?
Did I say yes? Okay, sure.
Yes.
In that universe, they don't belong there, which is why they're hunting. Whereas he's not supposed to be there because he's from a different reality through time travel, but that's not.
Yeah. Deke feels more like a technicality.
Yeah.
He's more of a technicality, whereas the others are just flat out like different species from different Earths and different planets.
Yeah.
So we'll get to the B plot with the body, because they do kill this one guy. And we'll get to what happens.
Kind of cool. We'll get there.
The autopsy.
But Deke's entrance.
He's on what looks like a spaceship, or maybe similar corridors to the lighthouse from last season.
Yeah. With some funky lighting.
Yeah, and he's walking around the corridors. He's got guns in his hands. He's with someone else, and they're running from I forgot what they're called. It was those masked aliens last season.
Yeah,
but they're running from them, and then eventually there's a Kree, and his buddy gets killed, and he's like, "No, it's personal," and he jumps out with the 2 guns, and then he grabs Max.
Cliches are flying everywhere.
Oh yeah. It's every trope in the book, and then he gets like Max's shotgun axe, and he sort of slides and shoots it, and then axes him, and then it ends with the door opening, and in walks Sky, notably with the zip on her top, like much
very
further
low
down.
Yeah,
than normal. I mean, it may just be the effect of that, but I'm also suggesting that it might be juicing the stats a little bit here and making a few things a bit more ample.
It's hard to say, isn't it?
Hard to say, because it may just be the fact that we're seeing a lot more cleavage. But she comes in and she's like, the hands are up on the door. She's like, Deke, and she walks up and slaps him, and it's like
What took you so long?
It's very intentional, like bad porn acting is basically how I describe it.
Yeah.
And I already thought it was fake. Whatever was going on, I already thought it was a dream.
But as soon as this happens, it's like, well, obviously.
I mean, I was thinking dream. I should have really considered framework, because that was obviously something he was involved in. But so it turns out he's got a tech company, very much like, I'd say that the headquarters feels very Google-esque. Although maybe Apple's a better comparison, because his buddy here has a lemon on his shirt.
Of course, he took the lemon as a symbol.
He's got all lemons. And notably, his hipster girlfriend, his Instagram influencer girlfriend. Sequoia, is actually the co-showrunner of the show, who I recognised immediately because she also had a small part in Dollhouse when she was co-showrunning that, which of course was created by Joss Whedon, much like this show was, who also did the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Do you know what's shocking about that?
Yeah, I could do it every week.
I think it's taken you 4 episodes to bother this season. I don't think you bothered with the last 3.
Yeah, but that's just felt more
too easy. Is that what you're saying?
Too easy, yeah. Because technically he's still a producer on the show.
Yeah. It's true.
But yeah, so we see that basically he's making a robotic hand with a shield that pops out. He's working with the framework as a virtual reality game. He's basically just cannibalizing every bit of tech he ever saw with S.h.i.e.L.D.
And in the future.
And he's walking and talking, and he's doing the Instagram video, and the girlfriend's filming it, Sequoia's filming it.
There are some nice character touches here as well, like when they got to put like the watch thing on his wrist, and he's like, nope, nothing ever goes on that wrist,
because that's where the bomb tracker thing from last season was. And it's all great. And eventually someone says, man, how do you come up with these ideas? And the shot, literally, the shot that happens before it goes to the title is him turning and just staring at the camera with this kind of like smirk in his face. Yeah. He's like, you know where all these ideas came from.
I love how self-aware this episode is, because you got this, the stuff at the very end, the tag at the end of the post-credit logo stuff that we get every episode.
Yeah, although this may be the first time in the whole show. I could be wrong here. This may be the first time in the whole show it's used purely for comedy.
I think it is. I don't recall any others that have done it. And maybe it's had funny things in there.
Yeah.
But it's usually the tense things setting up the next episode, the tease of the villain or the personal reveal.
Yeah, or at the very least it'll have plot information. Whereas this didn't have it. This was just some jokes.
This was just the jokes, yeah. And that's fine. It was funny.
Oh yeah, no, the whole episode's funny, and Deke, fake Coulson, Sarge. Let's just call him Sarge.
Because he's not fake.
Make life easy. He shows up because there's someone in the conference room to talk to you, and he goes in, and it's Coulson. He's like, "Oh, it's Coulson!" Hey, and he's like, "Yeah," and Coulson just keeps saying like very like vague things, like, "Oh yeah, they're doing fine. Yes, that's okay." Just simple things like that. And I love that Deke's a bit of an idiot, but the one thing he does clock is that when he says how his my grandpa and grandma, Sarge says, "Oh, they're walking a bit slower, but they're getting on," and that's the kind of the moment where Deke's like, "What?"
Yeah.
Because obviously Sarge doesn't realize that his grandparents are actually the same age as him, more or less.
Exactly. So of course it's like, how's May? Oh, she's fine. How's Agent Doug? Doug's Doug.
I'm not gonna lie. See, I thought he said Duck, and I thought that's the name you're going with, Deke. You go with Agent Duck, and it wasn't until Coulson said it back that I went, "Oh, it's Doug." Oh, that makes sense. That's not as bad.
That's fine. That's a perfectly reasonable name.
Agent Duck. So of course, when he tries to leave, Sarge grabs him and he runs it in, and he runs into the big dude. I'm forgetting all the names here.
Is that Jax?
No, Pax is the other dude. This is Jacko.
Oh god, I'm combining the two.
Yeah, combining the two. And Snowflake's around as well, and a bit of a chase ensues.
She's still kind of terrifying.
Yes. And he's hiding behind desks, and he uses the comm system at one point to trick them. He's doing his best, and it turns out his kind of nerdy buddy who seems to idolize him is actually an agent of S.h.i.e.L.D. because his demeanor changes, his voice changes. He's like, "No, we have to go to this exit. I'm going to cause a distraction. Then we need to go."
And then, who the hell are you? And he's like, "Do you really think we'd leave you to use all our tech?"
And then obviously the Quinjet shows up, and Mac and May are there with the squad.
And Dick's like, "God damn it, you called Mac? What the hell are you playing at, dude?"
Yeah, he's asking about Fitz and that, and eventually, because Mac's like, "No, you stay here. You're safe now, Deke." He's like, "Wait, who's going to protect me? Is Daisy coming? Is Daisy coming?" Because I'm going to save it to when we get there, but I'm going to say it right now. Possibly the funniest moment in the history of this show might be in this episode, and we're getting to that later on.
That's a bold claim.
I was in fits of laughter later on in this episode, and it was purely Deke and Mac. I'm getting it. And there's actually some great stuff before we even get to that, because So Mac and May are just sort of searching around. May eventually has a fight with a Snowflake, and I was actually glad here because I was thinking to myself that, hey, last episode or 2 episodes ago, May took on the entire team almost and was winning. Outside of just one little bit at the end which tricked her, she was winning. And I was glad that she was going to win this fight. Like Snowflake was down. Like
Snowflake put up a good fight,
but May
she wasn't winning. Yeah,
and it's only because Sarge sneaks up and has the laser gun or whatever
gun
on
her head. Yeah.
So May gets kidnapped, which she ain't going to like when she's waking up at the end.
I feel like they made a bit of a bad move by taking May on the go with them.
Yes. Although we end up with two of theirs, Jaco and Pax. We have, I'm sure, at the end because they both get knocked out by S.h.i.e.L.D.
They do, yeah.
S.h.i.E.L.D. team members. So Deke eventually comes back in though because his girlfriend was really wanting. What was this fancy coffee she wanted?
It's like it's bubble tea, isn't it? It's like boba, I think it was called.
Boba.
It's bubble tea.
Bubble tea. It was very colourful.
Yeah, it's bubble tea. I'm sure of that. It's a thing.
Is it like fruity flavored tea?
I don't know. I think it's an Asian thing because it's always aimed at the Asian markets over here. That's whenever I see it.
Okay, well, whatever. Look very colourful. This is my one. But anyway, she comes sauntering back in, and she was very annoyed that she had to go alone to go get this.
She had to go through the back because she's an influencer.
Yes, influencers have
they can't be seen taking front doors.
But she's just wandering around, and Deke grabs a bulletproof vest and goes in, leaving the pilot who's been left to babysit him just kind of on his own.
Yeah, he does look for a gun first, but there's none left.
Yeah, in fact, there's a really funny moment here where Deke's like, "Don't you know who I'm Deke? I'm like special. I've got like high priority." And the guy actually checks it. He's like, "No, I looked into this. You're not actually high priority. Like, stay here."
But Deke's already gone.
Deke's already gone, and he has to find her, and a bit of a chase ensues. And Matt kind of runs into them and says, "Here, hold." He gives him the Acer. It says, "Here, hold this and protect her. I'm going to take care of this Pax." And we get this first fight. Mac at one point lifts him up over his head and slams him onto a desk. It turns into a wrestling match almost.
It does a little bit. Mac's a big dude.
Mac is a big dude. That's why the other agent's scared of Agent Keller. He's scared of him.
Yes, he's got no chance.
I actually, what? It's credit. He's a bit of a bland character, but credit to him when he says, "I'm willing to fight for you, yo." I mean, not physically, because Mac's scary, but like emotionally.
Yeah, like this is a smart man.
Yes. So no, but there was a really funny moment in this scene that really cracked me up with Deke. Is after Mac's already won the fight, Deke comes over with the Acer and just like
empties the entire clip into him.
Well, here's the thing. You don't necessarily know that he's emptied the clip, right? And this is important because there's two really funny parts to this joke. First one is that he comes over and shoots him like 5 times, right? And
7.
Mac's like, "Hey."
I was counting.
Are you counting? He's like, hey, I think we've got him. He's fine. And you get it, he just wants to feel badass, right? And then in walks Jaco, who's the big dude, right? Big dude. He's coming for them. And Deke says, "Hey, Mac, hand on the chest. I've got this." And he points the Acer at him, and it's empty, and it doesn't fire. And
you just the look that Matt gives him.
But you know what I love about this is that it retroactively makes the part where he empties it into the other guy even funnier.
But yeah, it does.
Because he emptied it. He on his own emptied the entire thing. It really made me laugh.
Oh, that's so Deke.
But to be fair to Deke, he's the one who says, "Hey, I've got a plan, follow me, Mac." And he leads them into the framework room. And they basically, Jaco gets knocked out by the framework and is in there.
And looks very confused by Daisy.
Yes, Daisy comes out and is doing the whole thing. And this is where we get what might be the funniest moment in the entire show. Because, at first, Max just looks over at the body knocked out, and then he turns around and he sees on the screen, like, there's video footage of what's happening in the framework. And it's this, sexy Daisy, being all like, and she's hugging him and being like, "Oh, protect me," and all that. And he's sort of leaning down at this point, and Deke sort of leaned over with him. And there's this just 5-second moment where Mac just looks him right in the eye, and they both rise up. And obviously Mac's much taller, but they just have eye contact the entire time as they're rising. Yeah. And it's this close to shot. And it's just this silence and this look of disgust in Mac's face.
I love that he doesn't even lead it, he just goes, 2%. 2% of this entire company to never mention this.
I don't think I've laughed a lot during this show. This show makes me laugh almost every week. And it is a Whedon-esque show in that sense. But
yeah,
this I was bawling with laughter. This entire awkward silence is Max just staring him down for making this. Was gold. And
I always forget the comedic presence that Mac has.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Because he's such a big dude and he excels in the action scenes, right? He always plays the big tough badass, but you forget the subtle comedy acting that he has in the timing and presence more than just the delivery. But it's just so good.
No, it's fantastic, and even the action point of view, he didn't have a lot to do this season yet. He's been mostly back at base, like giving orders.
Yeah. But he got a great fight in this one.
He did. No, that fight was great, and then this was hilarious. This just shows you why Deke is such a great character. He brings this out of other characters. He brings out these moments.
This is why we need Deke around.
I think Deke will be sticking around now, and I am happy about that.
This is a better show for having Deke in it. That's just a fact.
Deke's an MVP. I am all about Deke. This is great.
Long live the lemon.
See when we saw this actor on Channel Zero and he was just kind of okay. Could you imagine how strongly we'd feel about him?
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't terrible on Channel Zero.
No, he was fine. He was
fine, but I mean, I'm not obviously not blaming him because clearly we've seen what he can do with the right part, the right direction, just the right character for him more than anything, I think.
Yeah, no, really good. No, and then the post scene was all the Instagram videos that
S.h.i.E.L.D.
was taking,
and it was the other agent that was his friend.
She ends up on vacation with him at the end. But what I like is that a lot of the ones before that were actually showing you the ones that we saw her taking, like in the episode. And the one that I really liked is that as she was leaving to get her Boba Fett's, is like the bad guys were just walking in the building. They were sort of coming in at the same time.
She's like, "Whoa, sick mocap suits!"
And she's like, "Oh, this snowflake's sexy." She's taking like a photo of Snowflake. Oh god, I think Marissa Takaron really had fun doing this. Yeah. I think she did.
Oh man, I love this show.
I know, it's so good. The Deke stuff was great. It was great to see him again. Really funny, but some nice action beats throughout as well. And I just like the general kind of idea of like, okay, the bad guys are in the building, right? We've got them cornered. We can try and get them.
And we actually learned a lot. We learned something about their motivation, what their objective is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not hard details yet, but definitely more than we had so far.
Yeah, we know they're hunting people who don't belong here. Why that leads to them destroying the place is a question.
Yeah, no, that is a different question entirely, but it's a start.
Because
more than we had to go on.
I would say that maybe if there's just too many, they'll just destroy it instead. However, like there's already been lines implying that it's event that they're going to be destroying it.
Regardless,
Yeah, Pac said like, "Oh, hey, shouldn't we enjoy this place before we, turn it to shit?"
I wonder if they hunt them down before they destroy it, so that they can't, hop to the next world and escape. Because the people who have traveled worlds to get here can presumably get away as well.
Yeah, maybe. I wonder if it's the people who have traveled, like if they discover that they're there, they can actually help the people of this planet stop them. Like they could actually pose a threat, and maybe that's why they hunt them down first. Rather than destroying the Earth is about taking it. Because why would they have to destroy it if they've already killed them all?
Yeah, just because they can. I don't know.
Yeah, so, well, we'll see. Which does lead us nicely to the dead body, because they do kill this guy early on. They stab him with a very particular blade in the stomach.
It's got like this green handle, and it's the same thing. He has another one, obviously, because that's what he was going to use on Deke.
And it's notable in the sense that he leaves it in the body, because I thought that was strange at first, but it makes sense once we see the rest of the plot, why it was left in his stomach. Because what's the new Benson? He's doing the autopsy, and you got Yo-Yo's there, and Keller's there, and he's like, "Keller, give me a hand opening this chest up." And he's like, Scrooge's like, that's his everyday stuff, and then they open the chest, and it's like, okay, I take that back, and there's like an alien bat inside.
Yeah, they call it a bird a lot, but
Yeah, I thought
It
that was
definitely
weird.
looks bat to me.
It's definitely more bat-like than bird-like, but
Yeah, I'm wondering if this was a case of the look was decided after.
oh, maybe yeah, because maybe it's all CG. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I wonder. But basically, once they take the blade out, the bat starts swooshing around like it's super speed almost. And I'm glad that Yo-Yo in a later scene said, "Okay, right, I'm ready for it this time. I'm going to try and grab it." Because she could theoretically maybe have the speed to grab it.
Yeah,
Because
possibly.
Keller pulls out his handgun and he's like, "All right, everyone, stay behind me." And I'm like, "You're not going to hit this."
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and there's a bit of creeping around looking for it, and then it goes inside his mouth, and I was like, okay, he's probably going to be dead now, and they were just making us like him just enough that we cared a little bit when he dies.
We've been saying this since the start.
And yes, we get like some proper body horror stuff here actually, because
We do.
there's a lot of him like in pain and squinching and stuff. But the big thing though is that eventually when it's finally he's not in control anymore, like whatever's inside him is taking over. Although it is notable that the old man that he was in before wasn't like spewing like diamond rocks and like stuff.
They were starting a little bit.
Well, only when he was
Stabbed.
Yeah, it was only at that point where here it seems to just want to do it no matter what. Like it's just going for
Maybe
it.
it was because when it was inside the old man, it seemed to be undercover, right? Like it hadn't been spotted yet. So maybe it already knows that it's that they know it's there, it's under attack, so it might as well just go for it. There's no point in trying to blend in.
Yes,
Assuming it has some actual intelligence and is an aware being and not just a bat.
it seems to be because I mean it was. I mean, unless the old man was still theoretically in control, but the old man seemed to know like who these people were that were after him.
He did. When he saw them, he panicked.
Yeah, so that implies to me that the bat's in control and is aware of what's around him. So
yeah.
But yeah, so Yo-Yo has to like basically realizes that the thing that was keeping it dead was the knife, and she speeds off and uses her speed to like kill him and stabs him. And so she has to actually do the deed. She has to kill the guy she's with. But as this is happening though, there's literally it's almost like a dark version of the Fortress of Solitude coming out of him. Like there's all these like crystal.
Yeah, it's a good word
sort of beams. And it's proper nasty. Like it looked quite good as well.
Did look good. All the effects so far this season were pretty solid.
Yeah. Joe is funny actually. Like so this was good, and obviously this sets up some stuff. And obviously we leave with Maze with the bad guys, but we have two of the bad guys captive, on Team S.h.i.e.L.D. And obviously there was no space stuff this episode, so I'm assuming we'll get more of that next time. We'll be back to some space stuff. But what I really liked about this episode, and kind of to a point in the season so far as a whole, because the last one had all the trippy stuff, is this the?
I mean, no, carry on. It's fine.
Is that I feel like this season and next season, because they've already been renewed for season 7, but that essentially, because they're both 13 episodes, is essentially
kind of one season.
Yeah, it's like one slightly longer season overall. This is starting to feel like to me, and I mean this in a good way, it's starting to feel like the Victory Lap season, in that they've already done everything they actually needed to and wanted to do with the show, and now they're just having fun and doing things that seem interesting.
Oh, definitely, because it wasn't obviously the ending of last season with Coulson, leaving the legacy of S.h.i.e.L.D. It felt like no, that works as an ending, and obviously there was with that intention, written in mind because they didn't know, and it does feel like, hey, whatever we got now, it's just bonus.
Yeah, it feels like we're going to do a trippy episode. We're going to do an episode where Deke's this Google like company man, and we're going to do an episode. Like it feels like they're just having fun and they're being more playful, but at the same time they've not actually harmed the kind of the drama of the characters either.
No, they're still doing the character drama like. With Yo-Yo here having to kill Keller. We had the stuff with Keller at the start where he tries to tell Mac, and Mac obviously already knows, and he's like, "Look, just don't talk about it. Just keep it to yourself."
Yeah, because he's basically like, if you admit there's a relationship, then I have to start separating you because you can't be on the same team when you go out because it might compromise your judgment.
Yeah, and it's quite Mac being the bigger man, being like, "Look, hey, look, maybe I'm not over her, but I don't want to just ruin it for you both. So if you don't mention it, I don't need to separate you."
Yeah. And then he tells Yo-Yo later, which leads to the line that I was complimenting earlier about the I'll fight him, but not physically, yeah. Emotionally. So no, that's a great episode. I like the season's doing it for me.
We're 4 for 4.
maybe my favorite of the four so far, but I mean, it's hard to.
It is hard to say.
Hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know, but I did like it a lot.
Yeah,
I liked all, both plots, all the beats, the action, the comedy.
mm-hmm.
It's firing on all cylinders this season. Everything's looking great, acting's great.
Yeah. I'm so glad that we have like that confirmed next season already, and like season 7 is probably most definitely the last one, and that's okay. Like,
yeah. I mean, that's it's a good run. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, I'm delighted. So yeah, let us know what you think of the episode in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at @mail_fuzz for channel updates. Do by all means rate us on your iTunes app or whatever you're using. Although didn't you post an article Ellis saying iTunes is dead?
Yeah. It's being transformed into Apple Podcasts. So on that, I guess I don't know what they're doing.
I mean, it's still iTunes for a while, presumably. It's not like it's changed already.
I assume so.
If you want to support us financially, you can go to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. We can support us as little as $1 per month, and you get some bonuses, exclusives, and you keep all the content, all the reviews coming. And more specifically, at the $10 tier, you can sponsor a TV series of reviews, which this episode actually is. S.h.i.e.L.D., for the time being, is sponsored by Tim Neal, one of our patrons. So thanks to Tim. And so go check out Patreon. But that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?